All right. I am live. Hold on. I'm live. I'm live. Okay. Let me go over here. Okay. I'm waiting for some to come on. Kennedy. I'm waiting for some to come on. My mom wants to call me when I get on live. All righty. Okay. Let me drop this here. She's going to keep calling. All right. Okay. Cool. So I am live on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. Let me answer this one. All righty. So let me get here. All right. If you're on, say hello. Don't sneak and watch. Say hello. I am live on over here, and then I'm also live on TikTok. I'm pushing out my live today. I am doing it. But today I want to talk about seed multiplication. I want to talk about multiplication through our seed and obedience. Okay. If you do not follow me on any platforms, please make sure that you do follow me, that you are following me. If you follow me, if you do not, if you are over here on TikTok and you don't follow me, please follow me. But I wanted to come on here and kind of give something today. I hope that everyone can hear me pretty good. I hope that my volume is great. But I wanted to talk about multiplication through seed and obedience. Multiplication through seed and obedience. What is multiplication through our seed and through our obedience? Again, if you're watching, let me know in the comments that you are on. I really want to talk about this. I want to talk about how God does not multiply what we hoard. How he does not multiply what we keep to ourselves, and how he multiplies what we release in obedience to him. What we release in obedience to him. So I pray and ask God that he open up our understanding, expose resistance that we have in our life, and align our obedience to him. So what is obedience? I'm sorry, what is increase? What is increase? Or how do we look at increase as it relates to multiplication? If you see me looking over here, it's because I'm on TikTok as well. Our increase through multiplication. We know that increase adds, right? So when we think about an increase of something, when you think about you getting a raise at work, increasing your salary at work, right? There's an increase. And then when you think of multiplication, multiplication reproduces, right? It adds on, yes, but it adds on at a greater rate than just a regular old increase does. And so I definitely want to talk about multiplying what God gave you. We know that he never multiplies whatever stays in our hand. right? And so if you have a seed, if you have something that God gave you, God does not multiply. Okay. He does not multiply what we keep in our hands. Okay. So there are three things that a seed must do. A seed must leave your hand. A seed must enter into the ground, and a seed must be released with obedience. I'm going to say it again. A seed must leave your hand, right? Because if it does not leave your hand, it means nothing. It does nothing. It's just a seed. There's no soil, there's no water that you've added, there's nothing added to that seed for it to multiply. So, in order for a seed to multiply, it must leave your hand. And then after it leaves your hand, you must put it in the ground. And then you have to release it with obedience. 1 Corinthians 9 and 10 tells us, now he who supplies the seed to the sower. Let me pull out my Bible. Now he who supplies the seed to the sower, right? So God is the one who supplies the seed, and we are the sowers. We're not the holders of the seed, but we are the sowers of the seed. And so this year in 2026, I want to be the sower of the seed. I don't want to have a seed or have something that God gave me or something that he continuously has allowed me, made provision for me to have, and not me put it in the ground to allow multiplication to happen, to allow to see the harvest of what it is that he gave me. So this year he's calling for us to be sowers and not just people who hold a seed. A seed in your hand means nothing. A seed in your hand does nothing. But we must, again, it has to leave your hand. It has to enter into the ground, and you have to release it with obedience. Okay. So there are three types of seeds that I want to talk to you tonight about. There are three types of seed. There are more, but I want to talk to you about three of them. Okay. The first seed is our financial. I don't want to go to financial seed first. The first seed is our time seed. Okay. What does our time seed look like? What does this seed, how is it manifested, right, in our life? It's manifested through consistency. It's manifested through our service that we do. Again, I'm live here on Facebook and all of my groups, YouTube, and then I'm also live on TikTok. If you are watching, please like the video. Also, if you can share it, that would be awesome too. That would be amazing if you could share the video for me. Also, if you're on TikTok, if you can repost or however we do it on TikTok, that would be amazing. So our first seed that we have is our time seed. God gave us a seed of time, right? That sounds so crazy, but it is so true. God gave us a seed of time. And so what are we, if we are now on the 6th day of January, how have we use the seed of time that he gave us? It's through consistency. It's through our service. How have we used it? The second seed is obedience. There's a seed of obedience that God gave us. And this is doing what God says, even when it hurts, even when we do not want to do it, even when we feel like we don't want to do it, even if there are things that come up that makes way for us, not like an excuse, like, oh, this happened, so I definitely don't have to do this now, right? What are the things that God told you to be obedient about? What are those things that he told you, that there's something that he told you to do, right, that required your obedience, that required you to do a X thing, right? And here's the thing, this is the thing that I love about God, is he's not going to ask you to do something that he has not already equipped you to do. He's not going to ask you to do anything that he has not already given you the seed to do it. So if he told you to start a business, if he's told you to go over here and sow this, if he told you to go over here and start this, if he told you to invest in yourself, if he told you to invest in your craft, invest in your skill, right? He's already given you the provision to do what he told you to do. And so what has God told you to do? That's our second one, which is our obedience seed. This is doing what God tells us, even when it hurts. And then the third seed I want to talk to you about is the financial seed. Okay. The financial seed. This is our money. This is our resources, right? These are the three types of seeds. And so if you don't know what your seed is, if you don't know, you say, Cara, I don't even know what seed God gave me. I don't know what it is that God gave me. I have no idea. I have no idea. Sometimes we are trying to sow seeds that God did not authorize. And that's why it's so important for us to move and act in obedience, because when we do it outside of obedience, we can be planting seeds and you look back a year later, you like, man, I've been planting a seed right here and I do not see a harvest. I've been planting this seed. I've been doing this. I've been showing up for this. I've been over here and over there and all over the place. And sometimes we sow seeds that God did not even authorize for us to sow. We are doing things God didn't authorize for us to do. We are spending time doing things that God did not authorize us to do. We are paying and buying and spending up things that God did not authorize us to do. Genesis 8:22, the seed time comes before the harvest. The seed time, the time for you to receive your seed comes before the harvest. So if you have no harvest, then that means that God did not activate the seed in your life just yet. And there are some things that He give us and He tell us to hold. And there's some things that He give us and He say right away, sow it. Right away, sow it. And so what seed do you know that God has been asking you to release? What seed do you know that God, you don't have to put it, just think about what seed, what gift did God give you? What talent did He give you? What skill did He give you? What the Bible says to the gift of generosity, right? So if you have a gift of generosity, if God gave you that, if He gave you a gift of helps, right? If God gave you these things, what gift, what skill, what seed did God give you? And then once you identify what that seed is, now my next question is, are you supposed to be sowing it now? And if you are you sowing it? Are you sowing the things that God gave you to sow right now? And so when we think about multiplication, when we think about not seeing multiplication in our life, when we think about us not seeing a harvest in our life, that's because somewhere down the line, either you're sowing a seed that has not been authorized by God, or you have a block on your multiplication. There's blocks. There are things that can block the multiplication from happening. When you think about a farmer, right? A farmer goes out at a certain time of the year, certain seasons, and they go out and they put the seeds out, right? And then they go and they water. They go in and they water the soil, however, on whatever frequency they're supposed to water it, right? And at a certain time of the year, they're going to see a harvest come. They're going to see something derived from the seeds that they put in that previous season. And so if you do not see that harvest come up, there are a few different things. As for a farmer, that could mean that the soil that you put the seed in was no good. That could mean that could mean that you are not watering your seed enough, right? Or that could mean also that you don't have a seed in the ground. So what are the blockers to multiplication? What blocks us from seeing multiplication, from experiencing multiplication? Number one, an emotional attachment to the seed. Are you emotionally attached? Because the seed, sometimes that we could put in a seed and you say, no, I don't want, I'm gonna sow this, but this is near and dear to my heart. This thing here is near and dear to my heart. So I don't want to sow. I don't want to put it in for God to, because if I put it in, that means I'm releasing it. That means I'm relinquishing it over. So sometimes we have an emotional attachment to the seed and we're not supposed to. The second blocker to multiplication is the fear of lack, right? This goes really in with giving. So if God gave you the word to give, if you received an increase and God gave you the word to give, and you like, well, if I give this, then I'm not going to have on this end, I'm not going to have over here. So sometimes we have a fear of lacking and not knowing that God provides provision, but we have a fear of lacking, a fear of like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going to happen here, I don't know what's going to do. Let me tell y'all a little short testimony. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all a short testimony. So my church, we Rebirth Nations, we did a fast. We did a fast, and it started December 11th, right? So we did the fast. God gave me this fast. I had I put together an entire book. I wrote a book to go with this fast and everything. I wrote the book to go with this fast. So we started this fast December 10th. See right here? We started this fast December 10th. And so as we were going through the fast, great. We in this fast because we want to see increase. We want some things to be broken off of our life, this, that, and the third, right? And so smack dab in the middle of the fast, right? I was let go from my job, right smack dab in the middle of the fast of a financial, catch this, right in the middle of a financial fast, I was let go from my job. What are the odds, right? And so I'm like, well, hold on. What? I was fine with, the job. I was okay with it. But I'm like, well, wait a minute, God, this is a season of increase. Like, this is a season of increase. Like, you're not supposed to lose a job in the middle of a financial fast. Like, where they do that at? And so I was really sitting here trying to understand, like, God, does my understanding of increase, like, is my understanding of increase right? Because how do I lose a job in the middle of a financial fast? Like, I'm like really like in this thing. How do I lose a job in the middle of a financial fast? So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, God, I'm fine with the job being gone. I'm fine with that. But help me to understand what is happening here. What happened? What occurred here? And I began to think about the seeds that God gave me, right? So right before COVID started, God gave me a few seeds. I've always, since I can remember, I've always been in business. So right before COVID happened, God gave me a seed, and he told me like to go full throttle in business, right? And so that's what I did. And then the minute things got bumpy and things got shaky or whatever, I'm like, I'm going back to work. Okay. And so, so back to what I was saying before I got off track. Before COVID, God, this is what God gave me. He gave me some few different businesses to start, and I started them, right? I even had my family that came along with me. They said we riding. And so we all wrote the thing and we did the thing, right? And so when I was in the middle of this fast and I lost the employment ended. And so I was sitting here and I'm like, what is going on? And God began to talk to me about the seed. And a minute ago, I told you about sometimes we sow the wrong seed. And so all of this time, I have been sowing the incorrect seed in the soil. And so now when I look up and I'm looking for a harvest, I'm looking like, where's my severance package? Where's this? Where's that? And God saying, you're not getting none of that because you did not sow the correct seed. You did not sow the seed that I told you to sow. You hightailed it when it got a little difficult. You hightailed it. And so sometimes when the fear of lack comes in, because that is what happened a few years after I was in business, the fear of lack, right? When it begins to happen, you can find yourself in a place to where I found myself in a place where I was like, no, I got to. All this time I have been sowing the wrong seed for what? 4 years, I believe now. For 4 years, I was sowing the wrong seed. For 4 years, I was watering the wrong seed. For 4 years, I was tilling the soil with the wrong seed in it. So now in the 2025 happened, I'm looking for the return. I'm looking for the return of my investment. I'm looking for the harvest from which the seed that I put in. And God told me, no, because you sowed the wrong seed. And because you sowed the wrong seed, hello, thank you so much for the follow. Because you sowed the wrong seed, you're not getting the harvest that you're looking for. And so the third thing, we're talking about blockers to multiplication. We're talking about things that block us when We're talking about things that block us when we are looking for multiplication in our life and we don't see it. We're talking about those things that block us from it. And so the third thing is disobedience, but we mask it with wisdom. Disobedience, right? Being disobedient to the seed that he told you to put in the ground. The fourth one, wanting harvest without movement. Sometimes we find ourselves, I done sowed this seed, I done did this, I've invested my time in this, I've invested my money in this. Next week, I need to see something happen, right? We get to singing, it's gonna happen. We want to see the seed before we've even tilled the ground. And so when you're expecting a seed to increase or to multiply in the season that it's not meant to multiply in, we're wanting to see the harvest without any movement or without any tilling of the ground that we've done. So multiplication, what is multiplication? It is a response to trust, not a need. It is a response to trust in God. It is a response to the trust that you said, God, I trust you. I'm going to sow this seed. I'm going to do this, God. I'm going to invest my time in this. I'm going to learn this new skill. I'm going to learn this new software, God. You're saying, then you put your time, your talent, and your treasure into doing that. Now God can bless that trust with multiplication. Now he can say, okay, I see you. I see you tilling the ground. I see you doing the work. I see you working. I see you improving. I see you dedicating your time. I see you dedicating your money, your funds, everything. I see you doing it. So now I can multiply this, what you put in the ground, because now the harvest has come to pass. Now the harvest has come. The harvest is here now. Now I can multiply what it is that you put in the ground. But you have to trust in God. And when you release that seed, you have to trust in God and trust that, knowing that, God, you gave me this seed and I'm going to put it in the ground. And I trust the time that I'm putting in. I trust the effort that I'm putting in, God. I trust that you are going to multiply this that I'm putting in the seed, that I'm putting in the ground. So now, where do we sow? When do we sow? And how do we sow? Where do we sow? When do we sow? And how do we sow? First off, where do we sow? You have to be aligned with his word. You have to be aligned with his voice, and you have to be aligned with him through prayer. When you are aligned with God, when you are in alignment with God, and you hear, and y'all hear, and y'all hanging and doing it tough, right? He brings to you, he shows you, he tells you, this is where I want you to sow this seed at, right? And we talked about the seed. We talked about 3 seeds. The 3 seeds are our money seed, our time seed, and our obedience seed. Those are the 3 that we're talking about tonight. When do we sow? When? Well, you say, well, God, I got the seed. I'm holding it. I know you gave me these things to do, God. You put this, you show me this is what you want me to do. But God, I don't know when to sow it. And then the minute that he tells us, go, do it now. Well, you like, well, I got this to do, and I got this over here to do, and I got to go take this over here, God. Well, let me do it when I get back. And then when you get back, then it's some other list of things. So a delayed obedience delays your multiplication. When you delay your obedience, you delay the multiplication. And how to sow? We sow with the pure heart. We don't sow saying, I'm going to sow this because I know that when this time comes, I know everybody else got it before, so I know it's coming to me. So I'm going to sow because I've seen this person over here. She sold last time and she got this. I seen him over here last time, he sold and he got this. That's manipulation. Now you're trying to manipulate the seed to do what it is you want to do. You seen the last person sow, you seen them, they got a vehicle, or they got a house, or they got a promotion, or God really blessed them. And so now you say, oh, I'm gonna sow this seed because I seen them do that. I need that right there, what I saw them get blessed with. So now I'm gonna sow. And so now you're manipulating the seed. Now you're manipulating what God wants to do. You're trying to manipulate and tell God God, this is what I want. This is what I need you to give me. When I sow this seed, this is what I need to do. He's saying, that ain't even what I want to do for you, though. That's for her. That's for him. This is not for you. This is what I have for you. And this is why I need you to sow the seed. Luke 6:38 says, press down, shake it together. And it may say running over. I don't have the scripture pulled in me. I'm speaking from, but overflow comes after the release. Overflow comes after you release it. And so God is not multiplying amounts this year. So this year, we're not going to see God multiply amounts. We're going to see him multiply access. He's going to multiply our access. Because when he gives us access to things, doors open up, opportunities open up. Red seas are parted when he multiplies access in our life. And I don't know about you, and I don't know about you, but I know that I definitely need God to multiply access in my life in 2026. I just told y'all my testimony. So I know for sure that I need God to multiply access for me right here today, whenever he get ready. But I need God to multiply in this season. I need God to multiply the seed that he gave me. I don't want to manipulate the seed. I don't want to tell God what I need him to do with the seed. God, I'm releasing this seed. I'm going to release it on good ground, God. I'm going to release this soil on good ground. I'm going to worship. I'm going to pray. I'm going to read. I'm going to get in my word heavy, tough. I'm going to get in my studies heavy, tough. I'm getting into prayer heavy, tough, because God, I need the access that you have for me. I don't know about nobody else. I can't speak for nobody else. But God, whatever you got for Cara, I need to be tilling the ground so that I get the harvest when it's time to come. And so God is multiplying access this season. He's going to multiply access. And so what you release in obedience, it will return back for our New Year's Eve service. And I wish I could pull it up. For our New Year's Eve service, we did we did declarations, and I'm gonna pull it up real quick. I was live on TikTok, but I think it's all right. For our New Year's Eve service, we did declarations, and that was a part of the declaration that God showed me. So there were two words that he gave me. Kybernesis. Kybernesis was the first one, and it's a Greek word, and it means to steer. It means to steer, to steer. And then the second word that he gave me was oikonomia. I could be saying that wrong. But that is a Greek word for managing what belongs to God. Right. And so then he began to speak to me about systems. And I said that we decree that administration will become our portion even the more. We decree that this house is coming into order. We decree that systems will be built and they will succeed. Systems are going to be built. We are releasing what we release in obedience in this season. God is going to repay us with systems. He's going to repay us with blueprints. He's going to repay us with order and structure. God is repaying us with those things of wealth. And wealth, money is just a piece of wealth. But God said he desires for us to be with wisdom, right? So God is returning these things with actual systems that we can use, systems for his kingdom, systems for his glory. And then I went on to say that we decree the systems within us will be like 1 Corinthians 12:28, that we will have the desire to set up systems that are helpful to the body, right? That are helpful gifts of administration over position. I'm sorry. And so God is repaying us in systems. And so this is not a season of crumbs. This is not a season of breadcrumbs of picking and getting the little bit that you can find, right? Because that is what he does for the fowl of the air. And he said if he takes care of the fowl of the air, that much so will he take care of us. So God is going to do that. But this is not the season where we are picking up breadcrumbs. Right? This is a season where he wants to multiply systems in us. He wants to multiply blueprints in us. He wants to multiply businesses within us. He wants to multiply. He wants to multiply wisdom within us. This is what God wants to give in this season. And so I have in the workbook, because like I said, I did write a 21-day financial fast. I did do a financial fast. And so in this, the multiplication through seed and obedience, there was like an action step. And so we talk about a seed identifier, right? Identifying our seed. What is my seed? What is your seed? What is your seed? Your seed is anything that God places in your hands that has the ability to produce more when released in faith, released in obedience. So you have to release it. But their seed is anything that God places in your hands. Well, first thing, God got to place it in your hand. You can't tell God what you want to multiply. You can't tell God what you desire for him to do. You have to allow him to place the seed in your hand. And the only thing that he's placing in your hand are seeds that can be multiplied. So if he's putting something in your hand, if he's giving you something to do, if he's told you something to do, whatever he told you to do, you can sure enough write it and take it to the bank and know that he's giving you that because it has the ability to multiply. It has the ability to multiply. A seed can be money. A seed can be time. It can be your service. It can be your skills that God gave you. God gave some of us some amazing skills. Some of us can do some amazing things, know how to do some amazing things, right? So this is a seed that God gave you. Here's a good one, a seed of honor. Okay, a seed of honor, a seed of obedience, a seed of sacrifice. These are different ways. These are different seeds that God gives us that have the ability to multiply. And so when we think about a financial seed, let's go. I'm going to go over 5 of them. I'm going to go over the financial seed, the time seed, the skill seed, the obedience seed, and the faith seed. Those are the 5 that I'm going to go over. So the first one, the financial seed, when we think about a financial seed, what do I have right now that I can sow, even if it's small? What do you have right now? What seed do you have that God gave you right now that you can sow, even if it's a small one, to either your place of worship, to your leader, wherever it is? What seed do you have right now that you can sow? Because we want it to multiply. And then when you think about your financial seed, also think about the amount. What amount has God placed in your hand? And then knowing, is this seed a sacrifice, a stretch, or an obedient seed? Because you have to know, you have to put a name on your seed. You have to put a name on your seed. God, this is a seed of sacrifice that I'm sowing here in offering today. Lord, I need you to do something. Lord, this is a stretch for me. Lord, you told me to do this. Now, I'm not going to fear lack. Remember those 3 fears that we talked about? I'm not going to fear lack. I'm not going to fear disobedience. Lord, I'm going to be obedient. You told me to sow this seed, so I'm going to do it. Name your seed. Name it. Our second one is our time seed. Where do I need to sow time to reap an increase? I can tell you the first one, your time in prayer. I can tell you the second one, your time in worship, right? Where do you need to sow your time? A lot of us spend a lot of time sowing our time seeds in places that just don't make no type of sense. We spend time doing a whole bunch of stuff. Hello. We spend time doing a whole bunch of other things. We spend time sowing our seed in amongst swine, amongst pigs. Where has he sown? Did he tell you to sow your time in serving? Did he tell you to sow your time in learning? Did he tell you to sow your time in building discipline, mentorship? Where did God tell you to sow your time seed and where? Because wherever he told you, it's going to reap an increase. Now, you might not see the increase, right? Because when you sow time in serving, right? When you serve, you don't see an increase for yourself, but you are increasing. You see an increase on the servitude that you've done. Wherever you're serving, wherever God have you to serve at, you see an increase there. So everything is not going to be me. I'm not going to see a return on a harvest, but God, somewhere in your kingdom, there's going to be an increase. Somewhere, God, within your region, within the region that God gave you, you're going to see an increase there. Your skill seed, what gift? What skill or ability do you have that needs to be sown? What can you offer? Obedience seed. Is God telling you to give something up so that you can trust him more? I told y'all, I gave y'all my testimony about losing my job in the middle of a financial fast. Very ghetto, okay? Very ghetto, very like, oh, I clutched my pearls. And not because I was, again, like I said, I was happy to the job, whatever. God, I'm in the middle of a financial fast. Like, what in the world is going on, Lord? And so it's because, and I didn't see the harvest from it, right? Tilling that ground, tilling it over and over all of those years, I didn't see a harvest because that wasn't the seed that God gave me. That was not my obedient seed. I threw away my seed when 4 or 5 years during COVID, 6 years now, 7 years ago when COVID started, God gave me the seed to sow and I put it in, and because it didn't till the increase that I wanted to see, I picked it up and I threw the seed out. And I put the seed that I wanted to. I told God what I wanted to increase. And here we are 3-4 years later, and I don't see a return on that seed because that was the wrong seed that I had put in. I didn't put the seed that God gave me to put in. I didn't till the ground with the seed that God gave me to put in. So what seed? And then the last one, the faith seed. What seed do I need to sow to break fear, to break lack, to break stagnation? What seed represents the next level I am believing for? What are you believing God for in this next season? Like I said, God is not increasing. He's increasing us in systems this season. He's increasing us in wisdom. He's increasing us in presence. Like he is increasing us on the things that our soul, that our spirit needs. So what increase did God give you? What seed did God give you so that he can multiply, so that you can see a harvest in this next season? What seed did he give you? That's all. I'm live here on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm live also here on TikTok and also in my group. I do have a school community group. Okay, well, we're talking about obedient seeds. I have a school community group that we discuss things like this. We discuss things like money. We discuss things like credit. These are the things that we discuss in this group. It is a subscription. It's a subscription-based group. But I am on school. The link to my group is in the comments. You're gonna have to scroll up, but it is in the comments. Like I said, we go over credit here. We go over mindset. We go over money. We go over why our mindset is the way it is about money. We cover all of these different things in my school community group. So I urge you to subscribe because we want to be on the train. We want to be on the train of multiplication when God comes and bring that train around our station. And I can tell you that this time around, I will not miss it. I like I told y'all, when I was looking for a harvest from a job that I had worked 3 or 4 years at, and I did not see the harvest that I needed. Right? I got a paycheck, I got a raise, I got all of that fun and wonderful things, but it wasn't the harvest that I needed because it wasn't the seed that God gave me. I'm gonna let that sit with you. because we have to start utilizing the things that God gave us rather than the ones that we want to take control and say, I want it this way. I want to do it this way. I need you to show up this way for me, God. And so if God is multiplying us in systems, I'm telling you, I want a multiplication in wisdom. Like we can pass up everything else, God. If you just give me wisdom, I got everything. Like everything else follows after that. Everything else is added to me after that if you give me wisdom. Right. And so I want to be multiplied in wisdom. I want to be multiplied in blueprints. I want to be multiplied in systems in 2026. And so these are the things that I'm coming for. And these are the things that I'm after. And so these are the things that I'm also pushing in my school community. So if you would like to be a part of a community that is looking for the same thing, looking for God to take complete control in every area that he desires to take control in, you can meet me in the group. Let me see if I can drop the link in here again. Let me see if I can drop it. Bam, there we go. There's the link again. Meet me over there in the school community. But if that is all, let me see. Hello, everybody on TikTok. Hi. That's all I have for tonight. I'll see y'all again here real soon. But you all have a blessed and wonderful night. Bye-bye.